Hello, it's Dr. Victoria here with my Ask Dr. Victoria Anything Friday session. And today's question from Emily, hey Emily, is are online qualifications with providers such as New Skills Academy, Centre of Excellence, etc., worth doing? Are these diplomas and level two courses recognised and respected? Would love to hear your thoughts. Well, the answer is not entirely clear cut, and also in a way it is. So the answer is it depends. New Skills Academy and Centre of Excellence, they're worth doing in the sense that they're super, super low cost and they will give you generally a reasonable, credible grounding in whatever they profess to give you a reasonable grounding in. Dialectical behavioral therapy, NLP, neurolinguistic programming, coaching, they all like I've looked into a few of these courses. They're fine. They're sort of solid. They'll give you a good grounding. Um, to call them diplomas and level two courses, they presumably map to level two if they claim to be a level two course. They presumably map to diploma regulations if they claim to be at diploma, sort of diploma quality or standard. I believe they are internally accredited, so I don't believe they are externally accredited by an external body. What that means is that the credits from those courses would probably not be recognised by a more official educational institution or establishment. And as for whether they're respected, I'm going to say not really. But it depends. It depends who you're speaking to. Like, let's say I was hiring an associate coach to support me with my coaching business, and someone came along having studied a level two Centre of Excellence coaching qualification. Would I consider that to be a serious marker of a qualified coach? No. But would that be the basis on which I was making my hiring decision? Also, no. I'd want to see them coaching in action. I'd want them to coach me and for me to kind of have a sense of whether they were any good, in order to know whether I would let them loose on my clients. I think the key thing is that they don't require practice. They don't have a practical element. They don't require practice. So for something like coaching or NLP, and there will be lots of EFT, dialectical behavioral therapy, ACT, CBT, all of the acronyms, they all have a practical component. You are expected to go and do live practice with real people, and you're only conferred your qualification on the basis of that. With Centre of Excellence and New Skills Academy and similar kind of light touch education outfits, I don't know what else to call them, you generally study a series of modules. At the end of each module, there will be some kind of knowledge check. And then at the end of the qualification, there will be a slightly more robust assessment. You normally have unlimited opportunities to have a go at that and pass it. And there is no real quality control on that. So you probably could have ChatGPT open in a second window and use that to pass your test and pass. So that's why they don't really hold weight or respect. It's a funny word, isn't it? Because it depends whether it's a prospective client or another education body or an employer. So my honest appraisal is if you're looking to seriously train in something, they're not the place I would go. But if you're looking to maybe do a sort of entry level qualification more for your own knowledge and to get to know a topic or a subject and sort of as an entry point to going further with it, then they're not a bad sort of spend of 20 or 30 quid to have that initial exploration. So I hope that makes sense to you. I hope it's a useful perspective. And I suppose the other it depends what the studying is, like what the topic is. Some topics will be easier to study in that format than others, and some will be okay to be assessed in that format more than others. Um, they deliver an okay learning experience, but their assessment is light touch, would be the summary, I suppose. I hope that's helpful. If anyone has any sort of broader or additional questions around this subject of education, qualification, certification, I'm really happy to take them. I know it's a little bit off of our normal sort of discussion points, but I think it's probably of interest to a lot of people. And I see myself at Centre of Excellence as spamming my inbox at the moment with lots of lovely offers. And they do have some nice topics to sort of get a bit immersed in if you fancy doing a bit of light touch learning. So enjoy. Feel free to ask follow-up questions, Emily, yourself, or anyone else who has sort of additional questions around the becoming certified path. Because obviously, as well as my current day job as coach, I did run a university, so I've got a good handle on education quality. And it was an online university, so I've got a good understanding of that as well. So feel free to reach out with any other questions. Thanks for listening. See you again next week.